All right, and we're live.
Okay. Are you gonna start time, right? All right.
Yeah, would you like me to give you a time count, or do you
No, I'll give you a countdown. All right. So
All right, sounds good.
this is Chameleon Twist. It is it's a game. All right. 3, 2, go. All right.
So the very first thing you'll notice about this level is there's a lot of small time saves. You can jump off corners, and then when you slide down them, if you jump the same frame that you land, you get you transfer the momentum from your jump, basically. So that's where a lot of the time saves are early on in here. Otherwise, this level is pretty straightforward. The biggest speed mechanic that makes this game interesting is the use of the tongue. You can grab onto things and then spin around by pressing A, or just move towards them by not pressing anything. But spinning is the fastest form of movement in the game, so we want to do that as much as possible.
Ooh, I got the head bonk.
There's little things like that where collision will just boost you a little bit and save like a quarter of a second, if even.
There. Big deal. First level's very straightforward. Run in a line. Level.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Though, coming up kind of soon is a strat that I found. Cause, alright, yeah. Just adding in pole swings whenever possible is always good.
So, in this next room, normally we would run across the bridge and grab all three, but Purple found a strat where if we go over here and spin around, completely nullify running through those guys and just reach back and grab them with your tongue. Saves a good second or so.
Yeah. You can even save more time because if you have 3 or more enemies in your mouth, you actually slow down your walking speed. And with this strat, it's possible to only grab 2, saving a little bit more time, but he was only able to get all 3.
I was going for safety.
Very tricky. Yeah. It's kind of tricky too.
Alright, so that one jump I just did in that past room is a kind of tight jump. It's saves only about a second and a half. It's worth. Alright, so this is Danky King.
Yep.
We're gonna hit him with butterflies, because he doesn't like butterflies for some reason. That's the first level. Nothing terribly interesting besides the boss.
And now we come up to the best level. And by best level, I mean lots of RNG.
Yeah, this is RNG land, the next level we're going up to. Bomb land.
The biggest sources of RNG are much later. There's going to be a room where we have to hit 3 tiles, and the correct one is RNG to proceed. It's just a nightmare. Kills a lot of runs at a high level if you just get that RNG on it. And there's also cannonball rooms, which shoot cannonballs in a random pattern and can just completely troll you and fall off.
The first room only has 2 cannons, and generally not gonna ever get hit by that unless you're not paying attention. Second room has 4 cannons, and they just decide, you're gonna die today.
Yeah. Fortunately, in this game, if you fall off, it's not a death. You just lose 1 health and respawn at the last load zone.
A lot of everything that's going on is just minor optimization about when we want to grab stuff, when we want to shoot it, and stuff like that. It's nothing crazy, just a lot of platforming. Oh, to note, when you have multiple enemies in your mouth, you can shoot all of them at once, or you can just shoot one. Also, this is the bomb jump. This is the worst jump in the game. Got it first try.
That one's just all muscle memory.
And I got good RNG in this in the 3 rock room.
Oh, nice.
This is the roll cannons. I got decent, pretty good RNG actually.
And
there's a particular pattern you want to run here so you can grab all 4 of those guys. Because there's 4 bombs and there's 1 off screen. I missed.
And now
he went.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Now we're doing the boss.
Yep. This boss has a fast strat. You're gonna want to grab 1 bomb, 3 bombs, and then another 3. And because the boss's main attack is that he will spin at you and charge at you, which is slow because it's hard to hit him while he's spinning, but it's possible.
Set up a little bit.
You want to time the bomb hits so he doesn't spin.
Oops. Yeah, I messed that up a lot. Happens. Alright.
Yeah, this boss is very...
The hitbox on the tail, when it gets really small, it's a bit iffy.
Yeah.
He moved a little differently, so I tried to be a
The
little
hardest
safer.
part, I think, is hitting all those bombs off screen.
Yeah.
Your tongue. But one
Thankfully
spin
got
is
them.
still not too bad. In our Kids Land, the very beginning, it doesn't really matter how fast you go because there's a very easy cycle to make. You can like have like 5 or 6 seconds of like bad movement and it really doesn't matter.
If we were a task, though, we could get the 1 cycle.
Yeah, I want to figure out.
Well, the task 1 cycle, though, requires us to be able to make a jump in this room that I'm in currently without damage boosting. And you have to be a god to do it, or a computer.
Have you ever been able to do it?
No.
Yeah, neither have I.
I've tried for a while. Momentum is conserved everywhere in this game, so I'll always try to jump off platforms like these while they're still moving, so I get that little extra boost.
But, there's going to be wafers later in the level, and those ones much easier to jump around because they're skinnier.
This is the first RNG room. Anywhere these white blocks are, they can be on any of the 3. It looks like I got the best pattern. Nice. So if you notice that, guys, this is coming backwards. If we were tasked, we would get it as it was going the other way. Be able to make this, and now we have to wait a couple seconds, fortunately. So this is the room with wafers that we can jump around. This one, we don't need to actually hit them. I probably will end up hitting one of them.
Still safer to
just
hit
barely.
one. Yeah.
Barely hit the second one, but yeah.
And then there's a cool... This is why I love the run so much, because you can like bend your tongue and just skip platforms like this. Like that glass wall. You just skip. And now there's another RNG room.
Gotten this pattern the last 3 runs. Unusual. This next room is on a cycle, but gonna not try to do the fast cycle. I'm gonna do it a bit slower and safer.
And we're also coming in on the final room, which is notorious for its insanely bad camera.
Oh, and this room I just did. For the longest time, people thought we could only kill 3 and then the last one separately. We found out that there's actually a fast cycle, or we could 1 cycle enemies. Room. This is the camera please room. Keep mashing C until it gives me the right angle.
Yeah.
C button that is.
Yeah, there's 2 camera modes in this game, and it locks you into the one that we don't like for some reason.
Oh, that was bad. I did that from too far away.
And
That was my
after
fault.
this room, we're coming up on the cake boss, and it's got the one major glitch in the game.
Yeah, the one major glitch in the game. So what the glitch has to do with is that, for whatever reason, when you go into the training in the main menu, the game decides that it puts you in a state where you can move during cutscene.
So basically what you do is go watch the cutscene for the cake boss, you save the game, go to training mode, immediately exit, and then load up your file again, and it will let you move during the cutscene, which saves several cycles on this boss.
If you
Turns
get,
it from like,
yeah, you can grab up to 3 of the enemies. So if you get all 3, it's the fastest, and it saves something like 30 seconds. If you only get 1, you save like 8 seconds. That's how long these cycles are for each time. So what happens is the boss will open up, the guys will spin out, you can grab one, he'll close, and he'll do some stuff. Alright, cool. Got the correct 1 cycle.
oh nice.
What we call the 1 cycle at least.
Yeah. It's the fastest cycle you can do.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Alright, so that saves a pretty significant amount of time. If we had messed up one, I still technically would have saved time, but if I missed two, it would have been worthless.
Yep.
And actually wasted time.
And this, for some reason, this was patched in a later release of the game. Don't know how other people found it, or what the developers did to patch it. But
Also,
I just
if you
think it's
notice,
interesting.
we skipped the upper two levels. They are significantly slower. Antland has a boss that is just atrocious, very tedious, and Desertland is really just really long, and the boss is also actually pretty annoying to fight. But thankfully, the bottom two levels are much faster.
At the start of Ghostland, there's actually two different ways you can go, but going left is much faster. There's like a cut scene in one of the rooms and going to the right, where the room rotates. It's a really fun room, but it's very slow. And you would only go in there in a 100% run, where you get all the crowns.
So I'm gonna walk a pretty particular path here to try and pick up as many of these fireballs as I can for the next room.
Because,
Not the next room, the room after the next.
yeah.
Sorry.
You're gonna be lighting some candles, which spawn platforms, and the fires from other rooms work. However, there's gonna be another candle room where you light fires, where fires from this room won't work, so you can't carry them over. It's kind of weird how they're programmed differently. And all these platform spawns are RNG too, so it's hard.
Right, so I can. We don't actually have to hit that last candle. That jump is always there. You can always make that jump. So you could grab these guys and go into the next candle room, but they wouldn't actually affect the candles. But Purple was mentioning we can only use the fireballs in this room for some reason.
Actually, I found if you take the fireballs from the first candle room into the second candle room, they work. It's only that like spinning cog room fires that don't work.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I don't think bringing one in is faster.
This room is actually a good bit slower.
And then coming up is another room with mirrors. The correct mirror to proceed to the next room is also RNG, so it's another big time loss at a high level. And then we have, after that, just like one more room, plank room, which is so easy to walk off.
The edges of that room are really goofy. So I'm going to shoot that guy because I can't get past him very well. But this one, you can kind of manipulate how... Oh, I didn't jump long enough. You can manipulate how he shoots the fireballs so that you run up. So there's another strat for this room where we spin on these platforms. It's actually very difficult, and more than likely I'd mess it up at least. So it's just going to be faster for me to take it safely.
Yeah, if you fail the first one, you can't even do the third one because of the fireball spawn will just be in your way. Like, total, all three of them save 10 seconds, and they're, like, super precise. I didn't start doing them until I had, pretty much had to, the PB.
Alright, so the final boss has two phases. The first phase, he sticks out his arms and he has these gumball things that we want to pop. There's a couple different cycles we could hit, and I might just be able to get them. Nope, I missed the quarter cycle, so I got the one cycle. That's the one cycle, I missed him. If you get them both each time the arm comes out once, that's the quarter cycle. It's kind of hard to do, a bit finicky, depends on how he plays. In the second phase, he has two things. He can shoot straight at you like this, which is nice and what we want to happen first. And then he has a round shot, which he didn't do second. The round shot where he turns is much easier to kill him on.
You can just jump over and then...
Alright, time. Sorry. Yep, that's Chameleon Twist.
We time the end as soon as he takes the final hit and starts
Yeah.
going up into the air.
Apologies.
Yep, so it was a 1350.
Oh, 7 seconds.
That's fine. My PB is a 13:28 right now, so that's not bad.
Sub 14 is good for a marathon.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no major mistakes. A lot of just dumb damage stuff, but that was pretty good. So that's Chameleon Twist, a game where you're a chameleon following... I want to say it's the the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland because he looks very similar. He has a big clock, and and he says something about following him down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, he's saying he's late. He's late in the intro.
Right. That's right. He says that.
Intro.
But the story is that there really isn't a story, to be quite honest. And unfortunately, this last area that you're seeing in the cutscenes is the thing.
Yeah. It kind of looks like the end of the first area in Healing Twist 2, actually.
Alright, so let's set up the next scene.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Purple.
watching. Yep, no problem.